we can actually be deceived into burying our gifts, believing the lie that a small impact is not worth the trouble. But that is not what Jesus teaches. In his story of the talents in Matthew, you'll remember it says, "It will be like a man going on a journey who called in his servants and entrusted to them his property. To one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, each according to his ability." Now, if you know the story, you'll remember that the first 2 servants went and put their talents to work right away, while the third servant went out and buried his under the ground. Sometimes I wonder if he did that because he saw how much the other servants had. It was more than him. Did comparison and insecurity and the fear of what others think actually undermine his ability to use the talent that he had been given? And what about us? Does comparing our talents and success with that of others actually undermine our ability to use the gifts that we have been given? See, the size of your impact should not determine the use of your gift. We are continually encouraged that we have different gifts according to the grace given us. If your gift is prophesying, then prophesy in accordance with your faith. If it is serving, then serve. If it is teaching, then teach. And if it is to encourage, then give encouragement in Romans. It doesn't say if your gift is prophesying, then prophesy if you have an audience. It doesn't say if it is to lead, then lead if you have followers, or encourage to gain popularity. It simply says to use the gift that you have been given despite nothing. You see, there are 3 things that happen when we choose to use our gifts. The first is that it gives us purpose. Purpose is so important to a life that is bringing laser focus into what we are called to do. The second is that it brings us joy. When you do something that you're gifted to do and that you love to do, and you're using your spiritual gifts and talents, you are fulfilled. And the third thing that it does is it pleases God. When he sees his creation doing what they have been gifted to do, nothing gives him more pleasure. So to be completely honest, the friend who was telling me this over coffee, it wasn't actually a friend. It was actually just me. For too long, the enemy has been on my back and in my ear, telling me lies that I shouldn't use my gift because I'm not really making that big of an impact. You see, I feel called to preach and teach and build up the body of Christ. But honestly, churches aren't calling me to speak at their church, and I'm not being sought out. See, the enemy had me tied up in knots, comparing myself, saying, I'm no Christine Caine and I'm no Stephen Furtick, so why even bother? The enemy had convinced me to bury my gift and talent out of fear, pride, and insecurity.